Global air circulation. Aims of lesson. To strengthen your knowledge, understanding and interpretation of global air circulation with specific reference to world pressure belts, tricellular circulation, and the relationship between air temperature, air pressure and wind. Introduction. You should know from previous lessons. Grade 10, Heating of the Atmosphere, Influence of Latitude. Concepts and skills you must know. How the atmosphere is heated. Why this heating is irregular. The concepts of high and low atmospheric pressure and the factors that cause each. What causes seasons. You must be able to apply knowledge and concepts on various geographic sources. Read and interpret sources such as graphs, maps, world maps, infographics, diagrams. To answer data response questions and write a paragraph. What is global air circulation? Global air circulation is the movement of thermal energy, heat, air and water from equatorial regions with energy surpluses to polar regions with energy deficits. What are world pressure belts? They are patterns of high or low pressure zones that shift in summer and winter. Where are the pressure belts found in each hemisphere? The diagram to the right shows the location of the world pressure belts, the causes and characteristics of global pressure belts. You must be able to give the following for each of the global pressure belts: the name, the latitudinal location, the factors causing the formation of each pressure belt, the air characteristics of each pressure belt. How do high and low pressure cells form? If the air temperature is high, the air becomes less dense, lighter and rises. This results in a low atmospheric pressure. If the air temperature is low, the air becomes denser, heavier and sinks. This results in a high atmospheric pressure. In the southern hemisphere, the air circulation around a low pressure is clockwise and anti-clockwise. Around a high pressure, it is the opposite in the northern hemisphere. What is the relationship between air temperature, atmospheric pressure and wind? Air temperature and atmospheric pressure play an important role in the formation and strength of wind. Air moves from an area of high atmospheric pressure to an area of lower atmospheric pressure. Moving air is known as wind. Relationship between temperature, air pressure and wind. Wind always blows from a high pressure to a low pressure. The tricellular model of global air circulation. Circulation of vertical and horizontal movement of air in three cells is known as the tricellular model of global air circulation. Name the three cells and discuss the formation and characteristics of the three cells of air circulation that make up the tricellular circulation of air. The three cells of air circulation in each hemisphere are Hadley cell, Farrell cell, polar cell. The air above the poles subside and form the polar high pressure. On the surface it flows back as eastern surface winds in the polar cell towards the subpolar low pressure belts at 60 degrees north and south. At the latitude 30 degrees north and south, the air moves in the high pressure zones to the equator. The rest of the air moves on the surface to the 60 degrees north and south, where the air pressure is mostly low. At the polar front at 60 degrees north and south, warm air from the subtropical high pressure belts and cold air from the polar high pressure zones meet. The high temperatures at the equator causes the warm most air to rise, creating a low pressure at the equator. Close to the surface, air flows from the subtropical high pressure from about 30 degrees north and south towards the equatorial low pressure zone. Learn a task. 1. Do the descriptions below describe a high or a low pressure cell. Simply write down the words high pressure or low pressure in each case. 1.1 Warm, light air. 1.2 Lifting air. 1.3 Sinking air. 1.4 diverging air at the Earth's surface. 1.5 dense air. 1.6 clockwise circulation in the southern hemisphere. 1.7 anti-clockwise circulation in the southern hemisphere. 1.8 diverging air in the upper atmosphere. 1.9 air cools and condenses. 1.10 clear, sunny weather. 2. The diagram below illustrates global air circulation. Answer the following questions by providing the correct term/concept for the descriptive phrase. 2.1 The area at A where maximum heating occurs. 2.2 The type of air pressure, high pressure or low pressure, that will be associated with descending air at B. 2.3 The pressure belt that can be found on the surface at B. 2.4 A weather system that forms at C, where the westerly winds and polar easterlies meet. 2.5 The type of air movement that usually occurs in the upper atmosphere at A. 2.6 The name of the cell at E. 2.7 Name the cell at D. 2.8 Explain in detail the formation of cell E. Activities/assessment. Complete the activity for this lesson on page 5. Additional activities in your textbook. Consolidation. You must study this topic by asking key geographic questions such as, what is it? Why is it there? What does it look like? What is the effect? How can the effect be managed, e.g. pollution? Values. It is important to understand that global air circulation gives rise to varying climatic zones, which in turn determines the way of life as well as the quality of life of people living in different parts of the world.
Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more future educational videos.